Hey, what's up, Joe? 200 graders. All right, so this is fall semester 2022, and I want to thank each and every one of you for stepping up and being part of the team. This is a great thing to put on your resume. You get a little pay, and so the point of this video is to give you a little kind of intro on how we do the grading in this class. For those of you that are part of the team that don't know Raylyn Kelly, so Raylyn is in the final stretch of our master's program, and Raylyn has been a valuable member, super valuable member of the team, and so she's a veteran. And so what I'm going to do along with this video, I'm going to send out Raylyn's email address to you, okay? And for those of you that have not graded before, you can contact Raylyn and get educated about how to input your hours into Workday. You know how many hours you should anticipate billing the center or the Davis School on a weekly basis. Sarah and Elizabeth, you guys are brand new. Kevin Lee and John Dionisio are also veterans, so it's super cool to have you on board. And Julie and I and Tara, I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. Okay, so what's the drill here? Alrighty, so to do the grading, so this is an instructor view right here. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. There's a lot more going on here. Familiarize you, or remind you what the students see in terms of the Blackboard page in GERO 200. That this is what it is right here. Okay. So they're going to be doing weekly assignments, okay? And when we go into the weekly assignment folder right here, okay, you'll go ahead and you can click on it like so, okay? What I do is I will prepare a video lecture. So I have a lecture, and you guys are welcome to. In fact, you really should, especially if you're new to this course, you can watch how to get an A in GERO 200 right here, okay? And then this is the first lecture where I go over the material, all right? Some of you have taken the class. There's some new stuff in here. We're always updating the class. This is the material for the first week, the instructional material. So the students are expected to watch the video, okay? And then you scroll down and they're expected to do the reading, and this PDF file is outlined right here, okay? Awesome. And then we oftentimes add some graphics. What we encourage the students to do is actually simultaneously they will open this quiz. I'll go ahead and open the quiz, and you'll see what it looks like here. Hit begin. And so they get a 5-question multiple choice quiz. And these quizzes are drawn from about a 30-question pool. So everybody's usually is going to get a different set of questions. This is all graded automatically by Blackboard, not your problem. Okay, awesome. All right, so I'm going to go back now to where we were at. Okay, and then what the students then do as well is they're posting the discussion. So for those of you guys that took the class, this is just a hey, what's going on introductory discussion. Okay, so we click right here. All right, and you'll see that a bunch of students have got in there and done discussion. Now to get full credit, all right, so they do one substantive, meaning it's all their own discussion. Just a couple of sentences that show that they have gotten into what they're supposed to do, okay? And what you can do in terms of grading, you should always remind yourself what was the discussion prompt, okay? So you just go back into discussion and you look at the prompt, okay? Alrighty, so they get, the way we do it, 0.75 points. It's like, I'm not even explaining why we use that type of number, but it comes from an ancient history. For this primary post about the material, okay, in response to the prompt, okay, and then we ask them to do, so there's one post that is all their own, that's about the material, then we ask them to do 3 posts, okay, on their classmates, and for each post on their classmate, which doesn't have to be a whole lot, they just remark what the classmate said, they get 0.25, 0.25, and 0.25. There you go. So that's 0.75, but 0.75 plus 3 times 0.25, and what do you got there? You got a maximum of 1.25. All right, that's how that works. Okay, all right, cool. They will have, okay, until Monday at 11:59 p.m. to get that week's discussion done. All right, and then the discussion will close. Okay, they can work ahead. We have everything open. So if one of these students is a gunner, they can work ahead. We just don't want them to fall behind, and so that's what we tell them. Don't forget, you got to stay on track, calendar in, getting your discussion done every week. Okay. Um, and yeah, that's it. That's it. It will close down on them, and there'll be lots of complaining. And we're going to be flexible for the first couple weeks because students are going to be adding the class, and it's just far easier to be a little flexible during the first couple of weeks, and then we're going to clamp down on them and hold them to the rules of the course. All right. So that's how that goes. So for example, I could look at who did Ellie Kroger. So I would just click right here. And so here's Ellie Kroger, all right? So Ellie Kroger has talked about who she is. She's a human biology major, so that's her primary post. She actually did a picture of herself right here, which is awesome. Tara's got in there, okay, and Kennedy's got in there and said hello to everybody, all right? Very cool. So that's the drill. That's what they're going to do every single week. The other thing that's coming down the pipe, and you can see this right here, so you'll allocate time. Okay, these two short papers. This is a 2 to 4 page paper, depending on how efficient they are. So critical thinking assignment 1, critical thinking assignment 2, and then there's a final interview paper. Julia is the course administrator, my wife. She will be sending you everything you need to know in terms of grading. Okay. Within each of these assignments, again, our kiddies, our students, can work ahead. It's all good. Everything is laid out right here in terms of what they're supposed to do. And here they do a little bit of data mining in our world and data. They generate graphs, they describe it, okay? This gives them, everything they need to do, and there's the rubric, all right? So this rubric is what you will follow when you grade this. We really need to stay on top of this, okay? We need to be timely. I'm sure you guys remember back when you were students, okay, how important it was to have a really rapid turnaround. Okay, so Julie will be pushing you on this, and if you don't respond to Julie, then I'm going to push you, and Tara's going to push you. Okay, so that's the way that works. All right, here's critical thinking assignment number 2. Okay, so it's a financial planning exercise. Okay, and again, there's lots and lots of instructions on how to do it. Okay, and then we come down way down here, and there it is again. Okay, there's the rubric for grading. Okay, 10 points possible. Same drill in the end for the final interview paper. All right, boom, 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 and there's a grading rubric right there. Okay, awesome. Now, so those the assignments that students have to do. The other assignments that students have to do right here is midterm 1 and a final. These 30 multiple choice questions completely graded by Blackboard. Not your problem, okay? And then Julie will grade this extra credit right here, where it describes, ask the students to describe how school has been, how they've been handling it, and things like that. All right, so that's the drill right there. All right, so that's what the course is like. All right, I'm going to hit the exit preview, and now we're going to go in there, and we're going to look at it like we're graders. Okay, what Julie is going to do, okay, is she's going to break down the alphabet. So somebody may be A through D, somebody else may be E through H, whatever it is, and lastly somebody else is T through Z. Okay, all right. So you're going to have your set group that you're going to be grading. What you do to grade, okay, is you scroll all the way down here. You see there's a lot more going on here. Okay, this is the grade center. All right, so this is how you get access to the students' discussion board, and also for those 3 papers that we talked about. Alrighty, so there's 2 different ways. You can click on the arrow right here, okay, and it takes you straight into the grade center like so, and you'll find all the assignments right here. And then if that didn't work for you, then you can click right here on grade center, and then you go to full grade center, and it's the same drill, okay? All right, so then what you do is you go and you go find what has to be done. So this right here, again, this is not due till Monday at 11:59 p.m. So people are still working on it, okay? But what you would do, let's say I was in charge of Maddie and Tochi, all right? So you come here, you see how you come across the discussion, okay? This is the part you're going to be grading as graders. You click on the arrow, it says grade user activity. So we're going to grade the user activity right there, all right? Coming up, there it is. Okay, so what we have here, very cool. So we see here that Maddie did her introduction. That's right, 0.75. So we don't ask a whole lot for this first discussion. And then she did 1 and 2. All right. So she didn't do the 1 and 3. So she's minus 0.25 points. Okay. So if I was grading Maddie's discussion right now, I would look at it. Okay. So she's majoring in real estate development. She's a junior from LA. It's a great course. And then I would just go in here and I would say, um, hey, Maddie, oops, sorry, Maddie, uh, you are, look at me, I can't type, sorry guys. You are correct. This is a great course. And I'm just gonna say, I have a lot of students from real estate development. So you personalize it, okay? And you're going to do that with each and every lecture. I'm going to show you for the more compelling discussions by going into this summer's class, okay? All right, and then you would come over here and then you look at this and then what I do is to again, you know, just to show them that we've read it, what they've done. I would say great interaction, or I'm sure, you know, Janessa and Izzy appreciated great interaction with Janessa and Izzy, and then you say, by the way, okay, you need 3 posts on classmate discussions to get full credit. All right, and so then you just go over here and you say minus 0.25 points. Boom. And then I would do up here is I would come up here and I would put in 1.25. So you see they're not getting the full 1.5 credit. Okay, so that's how that works right here. Then what you do is hit submit. I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, and you go on to the next. Okay, now what I will do is I'm going to do it for another class and you'll see what I'm talking about here. Okay, so I'm going to go into my Blackboard page. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the summer class that we just finished. Okay, all right, here we are. Okay, all righty, and then I'm going to go into the grade book here and you can see what's going on. Okay, Julie's always doing these really cool memes and, you know, being very supportive. It's kind of awesome. So I'm going to go into Grade Center. Like I said, you can just click right here to go into the Grade Center. And the first thing you're going to notice is we got a lot of stuff going on here. All right, so this is, you know, again, the class that's gone by. Okay, so so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to sorry, I'm going to go look at somebody else's post. So for example, I'll look here at Bell Raleigh's. Okay, so this was discussion 8. All right, so I'm going to come here. So what I would do to familiarize myself with what's going on is I would go back and I would look at discussion 8, okay? And so I'm going to go over here to the 8th assignment. So this is the weekly assignments. I want to make sure that I can respond appropriately to how they've done it. So I'm going to familiarize myself to the assignment right here, okay? Come into discussion 8, okay? And so discussion 8 was a special emphasis on caregiving that has to deal with the diversity in populations, okay? So the different perspectives that you have by having all the different ethnicities or regions that we've grown up in, et cetera, blah, 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 okay? And it also says right here to read this information diversity. I want you to think about the role played by social workers. It just goes down here, blah, 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 okay? And then it says right here, okay, now think about your future and America's future in caregiving. And I want you to answer the questions above. Where is the future of our country headed, you know, in terms of caregiving and social working? All right, so that's what that's all about. All right, so we go back. So I'm familiar with this now here. Okay, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to see what Bell had to say. All right, very cool, awesome. So Bell got 1.5 points. And then she talked about different things in terms of what she's going to do with her life, she talked about family support, and in her discussion, she was really not into. See, I'm not from cultures that value multi-generation households. Okay, so I picked up on that, and I said, whether or not you see yourself doing the family collective, we are we are getting you to think about it, Belle. Okay, and then I said, love your comment about the selfless society with Berkeley. So over here, she said something in there, right? So that's how I did that. All right, so you see how I kind of went about that. Okay, let's go look at another one. Okay, let's go back here, and I'm going to look at all right, week 5. Okay, this section was on cancer. Okay, oops, sorry, and within the section on cancer. Zoom, a lot of information. Okay, we get down here, and anytime somebody gets a diagnosis of cancer, there is grief. Okay, so we decided to put this grief discussion into the cancer section, but it goes as indicated here. The prompt is like, tell about your personal experience with grief. It could be a bad boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever your loss was. Your dog died, blah 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 blah. Okay, so that's what that's all about. All right, so that was 5. I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to look at discussion 5. Okay, so let's. All right, and we're going to look over here. So I'm going to look at Belle's again. Okay, she got 1.5, so she's doing pretty awesome. All right, so again, I read what they say, and I comment on it. All right. So Belle talked about suicide. Okay, and pressures, and so I responded to that. Okay. So that's about how you. And again, on this particular section, I could have said great interaction with Theo and Ethan. Okay, and Dorian. Okay, and that again, I encourage you to do that too. All right. All right. Cool. When we get into deeper parts, okay, and Julie will go over this, okay. When we go into the critical thinking assignments in the paper, there's a bit more grading that goes on, okay. So I can look at, let's look at Belle's first critical thinking assignment, okay. All right, and so the way you do this is you do a similarity report, you got a 10. Okay, and what I do is I will oftentimes open up the system twice. Okay, so here's the turn it in for her paper. We look right here. All right, 1%. So Belle knocked it out of the park. All right, cool. All right, so this is her paper. She does it. She did exactly what she was supposed to do. How am I? I'm going to go back and read the prompt. Okay, and I'm going to read the rubric, and Julie will send you that rubric and remind you. Okay. All right, cool. We get down here. Here's Belle's figures. Perfect. All right. So she did a really good job. Boom. And so we go in here, and this is where you type. Okay. I said really good. Cool. So you show them that you read it. Good choices, Belle, with the U.S. and Australia. I was very good to see how the two side by side. I said, and then we talked to disparity in healthcare for poor people in the U.S. are far worse than it is in Australia, and it shows. And then she talked about Zimbabwe, and you could see in terms of this assignment, you looked at birth rate, you looked at mortality rate, whatever the assignment was. So I'll go back and look at it, and her choices in Zimbabwe, it was very clear that it was impacted by the HIV epidemic. We go back down here and look at it. Okay, so we see right here. So this is life expectancy. Okay, going from 1880 to 2019. Okay, sadly, we've seen this drop in life expectancy compared to Australia, and so reflect on that opioid epidemic, inequity in terms of lower socioeconomic, and you see right here HIV. Okay, subsequent AIDS and what it did to Zimbabwe. All right, so it's pretty fascinating when you look at that. All right, that's how that's done. All right, guys. Very cool. Okay. So I think that is it. Okay. For now, we will review this again when you do the paper. And again, all of you, put some effort into it. Okay, you can bill for the hours. Okay, but please do not just do nice job, nice job, nice job. I get bummed out when I see that. This is a great opportunity. Okay, so just throw yourself into it, put some effort into it, and then if it takes you a little extra longer to do that, you get in a rhythm. Believe me, you all know how to type. You all know how to read. Okay, you get in a rhythm. But whatever time you're putting in, you bill for this. Okay, and Raylene, you have a maximum of 20 hours per week. Okay, and so if you work for 15 minutes or a half hour, you bill for an hour. Okay, so and Redlyn will explain all that to you. So contact her. I think that's it, my friends. Okay, so good luck with everything. Please contact me. My cell phone. I have all your cell phone numbers. I should send you mine. I'm going to tell you mine right now. It's 949-292-51. I think it's Julie 98. Julie's phone number is 949-292-5199. Okay. Alrighty. That's it, my friends. Peace, and we'll see you soon. I'm going to hit the stop section now. Adios.